Hello, U10. Here we are on the last lesson in our booklet on measurement. We're just going to touch base on this daily review, volume of a cylinder. I'd love it if you could pause here and have a go at these, and I'll throw the solutions up there in a sec. Alright guys, there you go. There are the solutions. Again, making sure you're being careful to halve this radius. Halve this diameter to plug in the radius to the formula. Okay, we're going to jump into this final lesson, which is putting together sort of everything we've looked at for the last little while. We're going to find the surface area and volume of shapes that are made up of multiple shapes. So something that you are going to need for this lesson that we haven't explicitly touched on in a while is converting these volume units into capacity units. There's going to be a question a bit later on that asks us to give our answer in capacity in liters instead of cubic meters or cubic centimeters or whatever. And these are the important conversions we need here. 1 meter cubed is 1,000 liters. 1 centimeter cubed is 1 milliliter. All right, let's jump into doing some of these problems together. We have a formula for volume that says volume equals area times height. So what we're going to do is we're going to just find this entire area the exact same way we would in a just regular prism. We'd find that area of the cross section and then we multiply it by the height. We're going to do that here. We're going to break this shape up into two shapes that we have an area formula for. We've got a rectangle and a triangle. Now, something we need that we don't have is the height of this triangle. But we know that this side is 4.2. That's this side. These are all the same. So we can take that away from 5.8 and know that the height of this triangle on top is 1.6. So there's going to be two areas. The area of the triangle, which will be half times base times height, which will be half times 12.3 times 1.6. And you put that in your calculator and you get 9.84. And then you've got the area of the rectangle, which is just base times height. We're just going to go straight to the numbers because we're all experts at calculating the area of rectangles by now. And then into the calculator, 12.3 times 4.2 is 51.66. So the area that we want to put up here into this formula is now the sum of these two areas. So we'll add them up, 9.84 plus 51.66, and we get 61.5 for that whole area of the triangle. Multiply it by the height of the prism. And here we are at our answer, which is written down below, but I'm just going to write it here. Meters cubed. Now, that's volume of composite figures. Break this area up into shapes that you have the formula for, add those areas together and stick it in your volume formula. That's pretty straightforward. When we come down to surface area, it gets a little bit more difficult. But we got another volume question now. This is a cylinder. So we're going to use the cylinder formula, but we need to modify it slightly. Let's take a step back and remember that the volume of a cylinder comes from here. V equals AH. This is just area of a circle. What did we do to calculate the area of a circle when we only had half a circle? Well, we multiplied that area by half. So we're going to do that here. We're going to just multiply the area by half and then multiply it by the height. Same thing as what we did up here. We're calculating this area as the area of half of a circle, and we're multiplying it by the height. Now, we have to be a little careful in this question because we're given the diameter in 36 centimeters, and we're given the length in 1.25 meters. You could convert either of these measurements. I'm going to just make this one 125 centimeters. And I'm going to do everything in centimeters. So I come over to my formula, I plug in the numbers. Again, I'm not plugging in 36, I'm plugging in 18 and 125. And that will give me, once I put it in my calculator, quite a large number, but that's okay. Let's just go with that. So this is in centimeters cubed. Now, this is where we need to come up to what I mentioned at the start. Centimeters cubed is milliliters. So this measurement that we have right now is in milliliters. And the question has asked to give us the answer in liters. Now, if you still have your first booklet, I think we have this diagram in the booklet that to convert from milliliters to liters, we either times by 1,000 or we divide by 1,000. So I'm going to divide this answer by 1,000. And I'm going to get 63.617. Same as up here, we just move the decimal point. But the question asked me to round it off to the nearest liter, so I'm going to write the answer down as 64 liters. Rounding off. Yeah. All right. This question here is a surface area question. Now, I think you guys will be pretty comfortable with calculating the surface area, the total surface area of the walls of the house. You've just got a rectangle on the front that's 7 by 2.6, and then you've got a rectangle on the side that's 4.5 by 2.6. So the surface area here is just 2 times this first rectangle plus 2 times this one on the side. So you can put that in your calculator. 2 times 7 times 2.6. Make sure you get those brackets. Exactly as I've written it here is how it needs to go in your calculator. And then you add 2 times 4.5 times 2.6. So that gives us the total surface area of all these walls. Now, there is a door and a window that don't need to be painted. So we've got the area of the window, which is up here in the question, 6 meters by 1.1 meters. So we can calculate that. Sorry, I'll write it out. I won't just put the answer down. And then we've also got a door that has dimensions of 90 centimeters by 2.3 meters. So we can also calculate the area of that door. I'm putting in 0.9 instead of 90 because I want both of these measurements to be in meters. And then that goes in the calculator and you get 2.07. Now, these 8 and a bit meters don't need to be painted. So we're going to take those away from our surface area to get the total painted area. Painted area equals total surface area minus these two added together, which is 8.67. And if you put that in your calculator, you get the answer of this, 51.13 meters squared. I think you guys are well and truly capable of doing all of those calculations that I did to get that answer. You just need to think a little bit about what exactly it is you need to calculate. Read the question carefully, figure out what it's asking you, calculate the areas you need. You'll usually end up by adding or subtracting something at the end, like what we did down here. Now, I'll get you guys to have a go at these on your own. You're going to calculate both volume and surface area of these two shapes. You're going to have a go at that on your own. If you want to pause here, and when you unpause, I'll show you the answers. All right, guys, here are the solutions. You've got over here on the volume side, you've got the volume of the rectangular prism and you've got the volume of the cylinder, and you've just added those together. That one is fairly straightforward. The surface area is a bit more complicated. You've got 4 of these rectangles around the outside. You've got 2 of these rectangles on the top and on the bottom. Now, normally we would calculate the area of this circle on top, but here in this term, we've actually calculated the area of this entire rectangle, of which the circle is part. So I haven't accounted for the circle separately because it's built into this here. This last term, though, is just the area of the outside of the cylinder. That's pi times radius times height, which is part of your surface area of a cylinder formula. If you go back and have a look at that one, or have a look on your reference sheet that you got given. And then on the second one, again, you've got the area of the square prism and the area of the triangular prism added together. Sorry, I just said area for all of those. I meant volume. And then the surface area, again, the surface area is more complicated. There's 2 of these squares, one at the front, one at the back. There are 3 of these 7x4 rectangles, one on the top, one on the bottom, and one on the side here. There's 1 of these 3x7 rectangles at the bottom of the shape here. There's 1 of these 5x7 rectangles. And then there's 2 of these triangles, one here and one at the back. And you just put all that in your calculator and that's the answer you get. Now, again, guys, you've got some textbook questions you can go onto, have a go at those. And yeah, once you've done this, if you finish this within the double period, you are on to exam preparation. You've got your study note templates. You can start filling those out. You can click on where the assessment notification is on iLearn and you can find practice questions there. So yeah, start working on that when you're done with all of this. Thanks, guys.